Hi, I'm Roamy. Today I'm going to show you how to use the Lenny Lamb LennyLight carrier to carry your little one on your back. So here I've got the Lenny Light carrier, and I'm presuming you've been using this on your front. If you haven't, then have a watch of my video for how to set the carrier up so it's the right width and height for your little one. But presuming you've got it all set for them to be carried on your front, and now you're transitioning to carry on the back. So what you're going to do is you're going to put it on the front like normal, and then we're going to do the straps up while we're here. So bring this round through the little elastic loop, click this in here, and don't do it up super tight, just do it up so it stays. So we've got our two straps. Now if you've been wearing them straight, they'll already be done up straight, but if you've been wearing them crossing, we're going to need to do them up. So you're going to take the strap and bring it round and clip it in to the one on the same side so you get a loop. Now how much you're going to need to tighten it will depend on your build, but you want to make sure you've got basically a bit of loose webbing at both ends to give you options. So I've got it behind my black top. Yes, make sure you've got a bit of webbing on both ends like that. Okay, do exactly the same with the other side. So bring it round and clip it in. And again, I'm going to loosen that one off a little bit and tighten this one, just so we've got options when we're tightening, so we could tighten it in either direction. Okay, so we've now got the carrier with two loops like this. And as I said, if you've been wearing the strap straight, they'll already be done like that. You just need to adjust the webbing in that case. So we've got the carrier set up, we've got the right width and height. Now we're going to swivel this around to the back. Now how high you put the waistband will depend on how tall you are and how tall your little one is. You generally want it about 6 inches, so 15 centimetres higher when they're on your back, because you want them to see over your shoulder, whereas on the front you want the head to be under your chin. So think about where you wear the waistband when they're on your front and put it that little bit higher. So the doll I'm going to be using is around a 9-month-old size. So I'm putting this relatively high on me. Now have a feel and just make sure you've got even amount of panel either side. You don't want it to be like round like that or off centre. So just make sure it's nice and even on your back and it's snug. Now there's two ways to do this. The first method I'm going to show you is where you scoot them around on your hip with the carrier already on your back. The second method I'm going to show you is where you bring the carrier around them on the front and you scoot them around. So it's worth watching both. Everyone has different preferences. I find this way easier for me, but some people find it harder and vice versa. So I am better at demoing this way than the other way. I'm not going to lie, I do find this method easier, but have a watch of both and see which one you're going to find easier. When you're doing this for the first time, it's worth doing it with somebody spotting you, or if you haven't got anyone to spot you, just buy a soft surface. So if you need to kind of bail out, you can like pop baby on the bed or the sofa or anything like that. But yeah, it just takes a little bit of practice, normally kind of a couple of goes. Now when you're back carrying, generally most manufacturers say to wait until little one can sit up unaided, which is normally around 6 months old. A lot of people with their first child will wait till closer to a year, and some people never back carry. So it's not something you have to move on to. It's an option that becomes available as they get bigger. But yeah, generally once they can sit up unaided. Once they're bigger still and they're standing, you can literally piggyback them up into this position. So the position I'm going to show you now where we're scooting them round, this works when they're littler, but obviously once they're bigger, you can start with it here and then we can piggyback them up. Right, I'm now going to show you how to put your baby here. So as I said, my demo doll is about 9-month-old size. Obviously my dolls can't sit up unaided, so it's actually slightly harder because they're very floppy. You're going to hold them on your hip, like this, and you're going to hold them with the opposite arm. So I'm going to use this arm here to hold baby and then bring this one out, and I'm going to do a front crawl movement. So I'm going to go straight over like that and hold them. So I'm holding both of them from the front. Then this hand here, I'm going to bring around and I'm going to bounce them around up and onto my back. Now you want to get them really nice and high on your back and make sure they're nice and even over the panel. Obviously keep one hand on your child at all times. I'm now going to slide my hand under the fabric, so I'm holding them with material, and then I'm going to bring one strap out and over one shoulder, hold them with the other hand and put the other one out and over the other. So each piece has gone up over their back. Now I'm going to turn around and show you what I'm doing on the front. So I've still got one hand on my child. Providing they're held fairly snug, you can now take your hand off them and reach around and find your clip. Now this slides up and down on these straps, so if it's in the wrong place you can move it up or down. Now it's a magnetic clip, so I'm just looping that through there. I'm going to keep hold of this until I've tightened it. So what I'm going to do is I can either pull down on this one or I can pull forward on this one, whichever feels easiest and most comfortable. or you can do a bit of both. So just tighten them up a little at a time on either side until little one's evenly tight on your back. Once they are, you can stand up. So just like on the front, you want to make sure the top edge of the panel is no higher than the earlobe and no lower than their armpits. You want to make sure they're nice and snug, so make sure they're nice and secure against you. And if you need to tighten any more, again, you can pull down on those or forward on these. And then have a little feel of their legs and just check the panel is fitting nicely from one side around to the other. There's their hand stuck down there. Yeah, make sure it's fitting nicely from one side round to the other. If you're feeling around from the front, just have a feel of both their feet and check they're even, because if one's much lower than the other, it means they're a bit lopsided. And you can just slide your hands inside and shift their bottom one way or the other. I'm going to see if I can move this one's hand. No, I can't. So their hands will normally come out from the side here, or they can go over the top of the panel. Obviously with a real child, they can move their arms. My doll can't move this arm, so it's just down there. So key things again, make sure the panel's no higher than their earlobe, no lower than their armpits. They're nice and snug, and then check they're sitting comfortably with the panel going from one knee to the other. Now this strap here, this does adjust widthways. Mine was actually set right for me, but obviously you want these to sit flat on your shoulders and going around here, so you can play about with how tight this is versus how tight these are to make sure it's really nice and comfy on you. So that's the first way to get them on your back. I'm going to show you how to take little one down, and then I'm going to show you the second way. So to get them down, you're just going to undo the magnetic clip. So you just literally bring those apart, put one hand on baby and bring the strap off your shoulder like this. Hold them with the other hand, bring the other one off the other shoulder, and then hold them on the inside. Now you're going to just scoot them back round to the front, and you can put them down. So that's the first method. The second method, we're going to bring this back to the front. I'm just going to loosen this up a tiny bit because we're going to be sliding it around with baby in there. So you want it, obviously, so it's not going to fall off, but that it's easy to move around. Now with this method, again, we're starting with the straps done up straight, but I'm going to loosen them off a fair amount, like this. So loosen them both off a little bit. Now I'm going to show you this without the doll first, just what we're going to do. You're going to bring this up over their back, and you're going to hold it. So you're holding the straps with your hand between, and you've got thumb and forefinger holding one and your other finger's holding the other. So you're literally holding them between like this, and then we're going to bring it around and pass our arm through the front one. So you need to make sure when you're holding them, you're not holding them like that. You need to hold it with your hand between both the straps, and then you hold one strap with half of your hand and the other strap with the other half of your hand. So have a little practice with that before you put your child in, just so you've kind of got what you're doing. You're getting your hand between the two and holding one in either hand. So I'm going to put it slightly off centre. So basically I'm going to hold my child where I held them for the previous method, where they're sort of on your hip. Again, you want it quite nice and high while they're little. So what you're going to do is give them a cuddle with their legs wrapping around, and you're going to slide the panel up over their bottom and back, so you're holding them with the panel. So it's just like you're putting them on your front. So bring it around, make sure it's sitting nicely into their knees. Now I'm going to let little one lie away from me a little bit, and now I'm going to hold those straps like I've just showed you. So bring them over little one's shoulders. So you've got one over either shoulder like that. Then I'm going to hold it, so I've got one strap in one hand like that, and the other strap in the other part of the hand. So I'm holding them through the straps like this, so they are held. Obviously you must wait until they can sit up unaided for doing this, so that they can't slump. Right, now what we're going to do is I'm going to hold these, and I'm going to gently scoot them round in the carrier. So I'm going to bring them round as far as I can comfortably while holding both the straps. And now I'm going to bring my hand through this front strap, so the one that's at the front there. Bring that around and hold that strap with this hand, and then this one I'm going to do like a circle around my head. Bring it round like this. So bring it all the way around, keep bouncing them around, and then I'm going to put this arm through here. Right, so I've got these both over my shoulders. Give a little bounce, just make sure they're sitting comfortably. And then again, we're going to do the magnetic clip up. Keep holding the clip, just hold the straps straight, and then you're either going to tighten straight forward with this one or down with this one, and then do the same here. So I've got my hand stuck there. Let's bring that hand out. So you can either tighten forwards with this one like that, or you can go down with this one. And you keep doing a little bit of tightening until each side is even. Now we've got them there, we can let go. Make sure they're sitting nice and comfortably with the fabric going from one knee to the other. Make sure the top edge is no higher than their earlobe, no lower than their armpits, and make sure they're nice and snug. And if you need to tighten any more, you can either pull down on those or pull forward on these. And just like with the previous method, have a little feel of their feet and check their level. So this one's got a leg slightly lower this side. So I'm just going to bounce them across a little bit so they're sitting nice and evenly on my back. So that's the second way to get them on your back. So to take them down, you can literally reverse what you've just done. I'm going to loosen these off a bit just to make it a bit easier to bring my arms out. So loosen one and loosen the other, keeping hold of that middle bit. Undo there. Then I'm going to put my hand on baby and bring this arm out and scoot them back around like this. Bring this arm out and then lift baby out. So that's two different methods for getting your little one on your back. One where you start with the carrier on your back, the other way you bring it round over baby and scoot them round. So have a practice with both of those. If you've got any questions, feel free to pop me a message. We can always do a quick video call if you want to run through it in person, but I hope that was helpful.